Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the film room, Packers film room here. We're going to try to do something slightly different today. What we generally have had, we usually look at clips, live clips of something we've seen in the past, something like that. We're going to try something a little different. We're going to break out the old chalkboard. I've been using, this is a Go Army Edge. I use this to kind of sketch out plays and stuff. Kind of thinking about the Packers going up against the Vikings this weekend and what that run defense for the Vikings looks like and kind of how the challenges they present and maybe how the Packers could find answers for that. So we're going to kind of talk through that a little bit here as we get into it. Okay, so this is a look that the Vikings have shown against pass defense or rush defenses in the past, let's say 3 weeks or something. I kind of went through a bunch of defensive snaps and kind of sketched up something that is either exactly what they've seen or something like what they've seen, and talk about the challenges they present. And again, what you can see here, I mean, the big thing here is that line. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're not always going to have 6. Sometimes they'll have 7. Sometimes they have 5. And the thing about Flores that everyone knows is he loves that sim pressure stuff, and so he likes to bring pressure, but also show pressure and not bring the pressure. So he'll show 7 guys. He'll end up bringing 4. Maybe he'll bring them from different angles. Maybe sometimes just regular angles. But it's going to look like an overload front in terms of what you're running into. So if you're looking at this, you're coming up with this with can call. You've got your first call is a run, maybe your second call is a pass. You may can out of this because you've got, in this look here, you've got 6 blockers. You've got 6 blockers there. And then if you bring this tight end in, all right, well, now you're 7-7. And this makes it tough. You got this linebacker Larkin. You got single high here. Now, the tricky thing, and we'll move him back out because I do want to kind of get to this here in a minute. One of the tricky things they will do, if let's say this is a pass. Let's say, all right, man, they got single high. We got, we're going to go, let's go like a little dagger here, right? Here, we'll scroll this up a little bit so we can get this a little tricky. Here we go. Okay, we're going to run a little dagger. We're going to run that there. We're going to run him behind. In fact, we're going to attack him. We'll kind of bring this guy out in the flat there. Maybe try to draw him over, try to target that middle. Okay, that's awesome. If it's a pass and this is a sim pressure, these 2 guys here in the middle, maybe one of them comes on a blitz. Maybe the rush looks something like this. You're dropping that guy out, or maybe dropping him underneath there. So now that's taken up. Now you're trying to attack the middle. You got that going on there. They will drop those guys. They'll delay drop. They're bringing... Let's say they're bringing 4 and then they're dropping 2. So showing 6, bringing 4, dropping 2, they're dropping a zone right in the middle. That's tricky. Now, the thing that makes this trickier when trying to run against them, okay, we'll just run. They're going to drop these guys. We can figure out ways to attack this. They delay their drops. And so if you're then looking to run, let's say out of this look here, let's say we're going to go here, here. We got to count for the linebackers, right? We got 1-to-1. We got man-to-man across the front. This guy's going to cross the face, go up here. Maybe you can try to get, manufacture some kind of double team here, but you can't. The thing they'll do, if it's this, okay, so let's say what we just showed was rush. I think we rushed, dropped, rush. Okay. On a pass, that's what they'll do. On a run, they'll delay the drops. And then as you're running, again, so we'll show this. Okay, we got to count for all these guys up front. These 2 guys that were droppers, they're not part of the run fit because they delay the drop. And so you've got a 6-man surface. Against a pass, you've got a 4-man rush because you're dropping 2. Of course, the offense doesn't know that, but we know that just kind of looking at this scenario we're looking at here. But if you run, you're running into a 6-man front still. So you got man-to-man blocking across the front. That becomes tough. So what are your answers for that? What are some potential answers? Well, out of this look, I chose this look again. This is something that the Vikings kind of stymied in the past, over the past few weeks. It looks like this, exact looks like this. And this is something we could see from the Packers. It's 12 personnel. So we've got our 2 tight ends here. You got 2 wide receivers out to the side here. If you still want to run, still trying to run, you need to try to get numbers in the running game, because you have to assume that if you're running against all 6 of those guys. Because, again, they delay the drops. So those 6 guys, if you're passing, you don't know how many are rushing. If you're running, those guys are all coming on the run because they'll delay it. They're all part of the run fit. And this guy then probably 2. So you got 7 in the run fit. You got 6 blockers up front. You got this tight end on an island over here. You can do different things with the wide receivers. and talk about that too. But the tight end over here, this is kind of where I just wanted to focus on today, just to kind of show some of the things you could do. So one of the things the Packers like to do, a lot of teams like to do, is this kind of escort block, escort motion, which is you've got, and I can actually do this little pre-play motion here. You start this guy in motion before the snap. He's motioning before the snap, motioning before the snap. He can release anywhere. Release anywhere. Now let's say we want to run like an inside zone look to this side. We want to run it to the left here. You could try to run a pull thing if you want. Actually, yeah, let's pull something. We want to add some extra beef over here. We're trying to attack this side of the line. Well, how do we do that? Well, we can get the tight end moving here. We're going to snap it here right as soon as he crosses. Actually, we'll snap it here right before he crosses. We're going to snap the ball. At that point, when we snap the ball, he releases. He's going to release up right there. You wham that guy. We're blocking that guy out. We are going to get this. We're going to get a double team here as a result of that. Kraft, if we got Kraft here, we can assume he can maybe work up here afterwards off the double team, work up there. You got a couple not really difficult tackles. That's linebackers, so it's a quicker guy here. And then you've got nice little 7-man surface. This guy's kind of, he's coming in from that side, but he's not able to be part of the run fit. Just the angle of it all makes it a little more difficult for him. You can now attack here. Now, that'd be like with a zone. Again, if you want to, you can pull, let's say, pull the right guard, and you're kicking out here as well. So now you're pulling, you're leaving that guy unblocked, you're running that side. Beautiful. You can. That's one way you can get to it, even without the numbers there. The other thing you could do, one of the other ways that you could attack them, Vikings are good in the middle, of the defense against the run, but you can get them side to side. Now, part of that is just the nature of defensively how they are. If you've got all these bodies up here, you're kind of like, even if you're running these condensed formation, you're compressing them, that defense, to the middle of the field, which means you can get the edge on them. The Packers love this kind of this pin pull stuff, which would be I don't know. I call it pin pull. So you're pinning a guy down, you're pulling a guy. Now, one of the ways you can do this is you're pitching around the edge there. So one of the ways you can do this out of this look, again, we're going to bring the motion, same look as before. We're bringing the motion, except this time we're not snapping it when he's underneath here. We're snapping it here. We're snapping it. He's right there. He's going to kind of leak up right there. So he's whamming there. You got the pull around here. You can pull him around as well. Kind of lead you. You got a pitch up here. So now you're blocking. Sorry about that. You're blocking him right there with that pulling. We'll say the pulling right tackle. That's Zach Tom. They like to pull him a lot. So now you've got him pulled. You got lead up through here. You're cracking down there. You're still missing something. Actually, you're probably what we're going to do. We're going to leave him unblocked. We're going to leave that guy unblocked. Sorry. We're going to crack him. We're going to leave this guy unblocked here because you're pitching around him. We don't need to block him. Now you got everyone kind of compressed to the middle of the field. All right. Now you got a little reach block there. You got the block there. Block. Maybe you can work off someone off of there. Take out that linebacker, or that's the tight end when he kind of comes over. And now you got Tucker Kraft in space off of that. Or not Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft is our cracker there. This would be Luke Musgrave, John Fitzpatrick, whoever, Ben Sims, whoever you want to have there. But this would be another way you can kind of get to that, is by, again, the escort motion. It's the release point. You vary the release point of your tight end. I'm assuming Kraft at this point, because Kraft is your best blocker here. And then you can you've got this nice little run in the alley because you're kicking right tackle out. You've got your tight end lead, cracking down there with your other tight end. You relieve this man here unblocked because you're pitching around him, and that's your defensive lineman. You assume you can get to the edge around him. There you go. So that's a couple ways that you could attack them in the run game against what is I think they're third by DVOA this year, a rushing attack in the league. So it is a good rushing attack for all the reasons I laid out, for what they do, the structure of the defense, how they drop their guys and all that. You can pass off of this stuff too if you want to. I mean, I don't know how much we want to get into that right now. I don't know how much people want to hear me rambling on, how much I want to hear myself rambling on, but you can get to different passes out of this. I mean, in the same way that you can do anything else, you can get different passes, but it does become trickier because you don't know who's dropping here, right? You don't know where the pressure's coming from. You don't know where those droppers are coming from, which makes the middle of the field murky, which a lot of times will make then the edges a little more, you can try to attack the edges a little bit more. One of the better things you can do if you want is you can spread everything out because you kind of get your look. You see how everything's going. Now this here, again, if you want to pass out of this, you can pass out of this. Likely bring in. We could do some of the same stuff we were doing before. There we go. We're gonna bring him in motion. We've seen him release from a couple different areas so far. We're gonna bring him. Looks like he's gonna crack. You've got him on this little shallow tight end leak here, which we've seen them run before a couple times this year, just this past week, as a matter of fact. You got this tight end leak. We're going to get rid of that there. This little shallow leak here because they're expecting a crack on this side. Now you just leak right past them. You can do stuff like that. You can do some passing on the same look, but if you really want to isolate them and get rid of maybe some question marks in terms of where the pressure is coming from, the main thing you really want to do is just go super spread, man. Go spread this out. I mean, you can do this with 12. You can do this with 11, depending on if you like your 12 personnel, who you like on the field there. You can motion him out afterwards. But what that does, just as a visual here, if we want to kind of line these guys up a little bit more, you got him in 12 personnel. We're going to keep him back. Now we'll put linebacker over here. Got defensive back here. Now you can kind of see, you got to see where the pressure is coming from a little more, right? You got them all spread out. Field's a little cleaner if you want to from here. Kind of motion. Usually they'll send him out to the perimeter. So you send him out. So he's going to camp right there. Who goes with him? How do they account for that? Now you've got a linebacker out. You're moving him out over here on your running back. All right, well, now you've got 5. They can only potentially bring 5. We got 5 on 5. If they drop this guy back here post-snap, and we'll kind of show this here. I apologize. My chalkboard work is not amazing. I keep moving everything around. If you move him out like that, maybe he's dropping. You got 4 on 5, and you got all your spread concepts opened up to you. The run game's out at this point, but if you want a clean passing look, again, you can do some trickery. You can do some stuff with the condensed formations, but against a team that likes to drop and do the sim pressure and blitz as much as the Vikings do, a lot of times the better answer, if you like where your team is at in this regard, is go spread, because it does present the QB a cleaner picture, and you can see exactly why. If they want to go single high, if they've got a single high here, well, they've got to count. You've got 3 men over here. I mean, you can do the math here, right? That's 5 defenders plus 1 there. That's 6. You can only have potentially 5 here. Is that middle of the field open? You can kind of see how many rushers am I actually dealing with. Now, they could bring a slot blitz, but when you're spread out like this, that makes a path to the quarterback a much further path, so it's not a super duper clean path here to get there. You get a little more time. So I'd say the keys to this game, again, some of the run game, you're varying up where some of that escort motion from the tight end is doing. Your run concepts are kind of basing around that, whether that's zone or a lot of the puller stuff, the gap scheme stuff that the Packers have really liked doing this year that LaFleur has really leaned into. You can do that out of condensed look by varying, mixing up where your tight end, where your tight end is releasing through. You got your outside pitch stuff is on the table in that regard too. You got some pass concepts you can get to, although attacking the middle of the field in those condensed formations is tricky when you don't know how they're going to drop out. So if you get to points where it's like, all right, man, listen, it's 3rd down. We got 3rd and 6 here. We're probably not going to run it. If you go spread, that gives you a clearer picture of where's the pressure coming from? What can I expect? And then the biggest thing against this team, against this Vikings team, who will blitz but also won't blitz. I know their 3rd down numbers are down. They don't blitz a ton on 3rd down this year in terms of the rest of the league, and especially where they were last year. But they still will show the sim stuff. What you have to do as a quarterback, get a clearest picture you possibly can is what you're trying to do. And a lot of times that is, I got to trust the protection. If you've got these guys here, maybe he's going to blitz. Maybe you got a dropper. Maybe you got him coming down. Maybe you are bringing a slot blitz. Then you've got whatever. You're bringing 4 or 5. You're bringing 5 there. He's going to be uncovered. But then you're bringing him down to take over for that. That's a lot of stuff to suss out post-snap, and you kind of need the time. You need to trust your line that you've got the time you need, that you're not just like, okay, I'm throwing hot here. If I see this guy coming, I'm throwing hot. because then you've got there. You got to be able to sit in there, be willing to take a couple shots with that maybe late delayed rush coming in to make sure you're seeing what you need to see. So I don't know if this is any good. This was longer than I expected and a little more. I don't know about sloppier, I guess, just a little more all over the place. I was planning on just starting with the run game. I should really start scripting this stuff out. But this is something that's been on my mind, looking at run fits from the Vikings and the unique way they do that. That kind of got my brain working. So as with everything I kind of do here, if it's something that I find somewhat interesting, I hope that means someone else does as well. So I thought I'd share some random rambling thoughts on a Friday night. If you like them, that's cool. If you don't, man, that's fine. But I will talk to you later. I need to get more into video stuff, which is easier or harder to do this time of the year. But we'll try to get back into this a little bit more. But I hope you like this unique look. Let me know if you liked it or you hated it. Maybe I'll do another one. Maybe I won't. But either way, thanks as always for watching. We will talk to you later.